Hello guys, Johnny here. Gonna do a nice little commentary on BB. Um, let's see what else is new. I'm house sitting way the hell out of nowhere. I'm bored out of my mind, so this is as much as product of my channel needing content as it is I literally am bored out of my mind. This is the third round on BB. The first two were nice, but were full of tank noobery and shit and just things that you don't want to see in any video. I'm going to try and address as many questions as I've been asked on my recent videos that I may have not have answered or may have answered and people have missed them. I understand. Yes, Gringo el Maricon. Or perhaps Gringo el Fagot, or Gringo el Diablo, whatever you want to call him, you know? All answers are correct. There really is no expletive that cannot be applied to the way he plays, and such. Anyway, one of the things that I've been asked a lot is what sensitivity I play on. Up until recently, I played on 0.4 sensitivity. I tend to play on lower ones because my mouse DPI is incredibly high, 5800 DPI. Let's see. But right now I play on 0.3 in game sensitivity, and that has given me much better results. I know plenty of you who have either played against me or have commented on my gunner videos have said that my gunner aim tends to drift a little bit when I'm doing a tight strafe. That's very true. I've tried to amend that problem by decreasing the strafe, and it worked surprisingly well. Anyway, I'm playing. This is a very high level game for my character. I mean, level 12. I mean, short of the no rank right there, who's the alt of a very famous player, there really isn't anybody lower than me. Which is fine. I mean, level shouldn't really be a factor if you know what you're doing. Yes, there were a lot of well-known players in this game. It wasn't half bad. This is also after the GS update, the grenade spam buff, which was very well received. Move my mic a little bit there. Let's talk about You'll notice that I don't know if I've always done this. Perhaps somebody who's watched some of my other videos may comment on this too. Whenever I aim at something farther away, I tend to do it to aim in the shape of a cylinder, kind of like this swirling thing where I'll just swirl around and then hit back to the same point. It's basically a twitch, but looks a little bit different than my normal one, which is a shame. Forgive me, I'm watching the Food Network, which is either an indicator of how much I love the Food Network or how bored out of my mind I am. Either or both is correct, but you notice that this Twitch method, which I know Indignant talked about in his most recent video, is very handy. I mean, but the thing you have to remember is that each person has different settings and different ways of helping them aim better. There's no set way, and you definitely will not get there by trying to imitate someone else's aim. It just doesn't happen. Everybody aims differently. Very few people play on the same DPI that I play on, simply because it's difficult to control unless you've practiced with it a lot, and not just in this game. So, that said, my advice for people who are trying to find is just to experiment a lot. I realize that could be misconstrued in a variety of unpleasant and lovely ways, but you should try a bunch of different things. I have played on every sensitivity between 0.1 and 1.5, and pardon me, 1.9. I've played on all of those, so I tried a lot before finally arriving down here. I used to play on a very high sensitivity because my aim used to be a lot different. I'm not proud about this, though I really couldn't do anything. He would have smoked me anyway. Mr. Fuzzy Hat Man over here. And we're going to see some lovely accusations out of Confederate later in the round. I know you just see his name loading in, so stay tuned for that. That's absolute comedy gold. But of course, I didn't really need to tell you guys that because you've either experienced him in all sorts of unsavory ways, or maybe you didn't. Oh, another word of advice, and this is probably the most important piece of advice I will ever give you, so write it down, pay very close attention, tattoo it on your buttocks. Never, under any circumstances, mix tequila and Coke. You will regret it, your children will regret it. If your children have children, your grandchildren will probably regret it. And don't don't combine it with squirt either. That was a horrible mistake. I woke up and I felt like somebody had taken an anvil and then put an amplifier near that anvil and then hit it with a giant sledgehammer. It was just like this, like the sound from Inception, the giant boong. You know, well, maybe with less pomp and circumstance. Now wait for it. It should be pretty quick. Is something going on here? Well, maybe there's not. I do seem to remember Confederate saying something stupid. And then again, I suppose I'd remember if he said something intelligent, because stupid things are pretty much all he says anyway. But you gotta notice the, oh, no, it was after this. It had to be after this, because he got his ass handed to him. Yes. I don't have any keys for this map, sort of avoiding it like the plague. I don't. There it is, gunshot botting. I'm not proud of this response. It was too painfully generic, and I could have come up with a better insult than that, or a better challenge rather. Still, this game was pretty good for me. I think I finished. Well, I think I finished 20-2, but it's more about the journey than the actual destination. And this was unintentional, and I do feel bad for him. He did kind of get stuck in this, but him, I couldn't feel bad for him for any conditions. And I'm pretty sure I get polished off here. I couldn't quite make it to the Jeep of marvelous safety. Oh well, you can't win them all. That's another important life lesson. You cannot win them all. It's better to admit defeat sometimes than try and work around it. Oh well. Let's see here. Shink, gink, snurkle, pop. And then we got Numbnuts here, who just got his ass handed to him, despite the fact that he's got a higher prestige than any of my characters, any of my considerable number of 30s, and don't drive a tank like that guy. You'll end up just like him. He took a gunner to the knee. Herp da derp da derp da der 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 der. Oh. And we got Dickless up there, just camping on his hill. Try and lob some stuff up there to get him. Let's see. But if I had to narrow down some playing advice, which I don't really feel qualified giving because I've never been good at... I'm very good at composing insults and very well-mannered things, but I'm not particularly good at giving well-structured, ordered advice. So I'll try to. If I had to narrow it down, though. Play to your strengths. Don't play in a way that deliberately incites anger in others. It's almost like I'm the Buddha of Battlefield Heroes, and I should have be sitting in the lotus position going, what is the sound of one RPG shooting? And if the tiger eats the lotus blossom, does he still win Riverside Rush? No, none of that. Actual advice. Play to your strengths, experiment with everything, be optimistic. There's always a way to turn things around. I probably could go on, but it'd be pretty damn cheesy, so... Oh well. I had a great line about pissing rainbows when I tried to do this commentary the first time, but I can't remember what I said, and well, I turns out it wasn't worth it anyway. So I'll just say, go piss some rainbows and happiness and joy and joyness, and we're on a bridge, Charlie, and stuff like that. As always, be sure to leave a comment about what you'd like to see. Any more questions you have, I'm always welcome to answer. And you take care of yourself. Stay classy, Battlefield Heroes.